What's up, and welcome back to the channel. We're here for episode 3 of Warrior of the Light, where we're going to be talking about chasing happiness and how endless of a chase that could be. And this is coming from my perspective of my personal transformation from a professional MMA fighter to now being an executive coach, where I help people transform their lives to become the best version of themselves, the version of you that you imagine when you think about your best future. Because it's true, it's there. If you can imagine it, it exists. And it's just removing any beliefs that get in the way of that. And this thought that you have to chase happiness is one of them. Because my confusion was thinking that once I get this thing, it's going to make me happy. Once I become a champion, I'm going to be happy. And the biggest thing was I get money. Because I realize now that it wasn't happiness that I saw those things as. I thought it was happiness, but I was so disassociated with how I was feeling that it was honestly relief. It was the relief of getting money that I felt it was going to give me from experiencing like the anxiety and turmoil of dealing with constant debt and not being able to buy gifts for people that I care about. Or get the things that I wanted, even the food that I wanted. And also, in getting titles and stuff, just a sense of worthiness. So I was so disconnected from myself that I didn't even know what I was looking for. And I was getting frustrated that I couldn't find what I was looking for, that I didn't even know I was looking for. So I was just kind of lost in this fog of confusion. And it wasn't until I was having a conversation with somebody today, actually, where they wanted freedom. And now I asked, like, what does freedom mean to you? And they would say, well, it's to get a house. And it's to pay off student loans and have money and be able to do these things. It's just like, okay, what is freedom to you, definition-wise, without possessions included? What does freedom feel like to you? And then they came back to like success and not having anxiety, and I was just like, okay, not having anxiety, you're getting closer. How can you describe the emotions, the feeling of true freedom, the feeling of being free? Can you describe that? If you just close your eyes and imagine like a perfect world where everything's worked out and you're free, how does that feel? I haven't heard a response yet. And it made me reflect on, damn, like I remember being that confused as to what my own freedom meant to me, what happiness meant to me. And that's what brought up the idea of this episode. And I thought it was going to be in the medals. I thought if I won these tournaments, I would feel something. And I had like this big vision in my mind, so I knew I was constantly working towards it. But I thought I would feel something. You know, especially I would have like a tournament where I would have 10 matches, and I won. I should feel some kind of being, proud of myself, something. Because I felt the same. And even when I won my title, and when I defended my title, I felt the same, and I realized I had this idea as to how I thought happiness was going to feel like. That was going to feel like this big, euphoric, oh my God, I made it feeling. Like life, it was worth it, it paid off, and like, I thought it was going to be that. And there was nothing I did with every accomplishment that felt that way. And in realizing that no matter what I did, I kept feeling the same. I kept adding more. I kept, like, the goals kept getting bigger and bigger, and I kept having to do more and want more. And it wasn't until one day where I realized like the things that I once wanted, that I put in so much work for, that I have, is just collecting dust. It's not really doing anything. It hasn't really changed how I felt. If anything, it intensified it, because if this wasn't it, then it has to be the bigger thing, which feels even further, and I have to do so much more to get there. Maybe that's going to make it more meaningful. No. It made me feel more empty inside, because I just had things taking up space, except taking up space in here. And then I was like, okay, if it's not the physical stuff, maybe it's the money, which is also physical, but I thought in my mind, with the money, I'll be able to pay stuff off, relieve my stress about debt, and be able to buy the things that I want and have experiences. Maybe it's that. And I will always hear people say, man, I wish people could get rich. So then they realize that's not it. And I'll be like, well, that's easy for you. You got it. Like, of course. And I will have conversations with people that would get into competition, that would want the accolades I have, that would want even the ranking that I have in martial arts, the belt ranking system. Even, especially when I became a black belt. And I was just like, it feels the same way. Even when I got the black belt, it was a nice feeling. It was like oh, cool. Like, this is awesome. I reflected on my journey. And then it was just back to day-to-day life. And it was just like, wow. I don't know what makes me happy. And then realizing that was a heavy moment for me, because I saw how confused I was. I saw other people chasing the same thing. And it made me just realize I was a confused person surrounded by a lot of confused people. And not to say I know everything about them at that time. Well, I don't know anything about anybody now. But just realizing the similarities in the chase. And then, of course, in order to chase something, by definition, it has to always be out of your reach. So in chasing happiness, it's always out of reach. Chasing money, it's always out of reach. So it kind of makes sense why those that are always chasing the bag, always chasing money, it's always out of reach. So in realizing this, I say, okay, like, what is happiness to me? And it was the same exercise that I put the person through. And it was all the possessions. And then once I started to get towards the emotions, stuff that I wanted to feel, I realized for me, it was safety. It was safety, ease. I would say happy, but I was trying to define happiness at the time. But I would say joy. And I use the word joy because there's a sense of excitement in there. Like this eagerness of wanting to experience something. And I want that. I want that for my days. And ease. Because not every day is going to be like so much excitement. Sometimes you're on a day of ease where you just get to relax. And I'll say some fun. And love. And appreciation. And I kept getting more detailed on it. And as I reflected, I then started to shift towards, okay, instead of chasing for it, right, doing everything I can, essentially, running myself into the ground to try to catch this thing. Where is it around me? And that took some time. That took some time to not be so goal driven. It's not to say I don't have goals. I have a lot of goals and I still accomplish a lot of amazing things. But amplifying my presence to be aware as to the life I created, the life I'm creating, and what's around me. Because all the things that you're chasing is around you. You just gotta look for it. And then that's when I started to realize, like, okay, the more I learned about myself, the more I learned about the mind's just looking for whatever it is that you're telling it, in a very literal sense. So if you're looking, hypothetically, if you're looking for the color purple in your room right now, you're only looking for purple. You're not looking for brown or red. So if I'm constantly looking for happiness that I believe I would eventually get to, then that means there's no happiness around me. Cool. But happiness is around me. What sense of safety is around me? As I started to find those things, I started to realize, like, all right, life doesn't suck. Life is not miserable. Life is not terrible. It's not all these things that I said it once was. And it was fucking hard. I'm gonna be so honest. It was hard. It was hard because there was so many habits that I ingrained of how to look at life. It's like working a muscle. I, at the time, worked the muscle of pessimism. And I was just constantly looking for it. I was very optimistic towards my goals, but towards the things that I was chasing, I mean pessimistic in the sense of, like, it was always out of reach. Right? It wasn't here. And to take those intentional pauses, be aware as to what I'm saying, be aware as to what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. It felt like a full-time job. Jesus Cristo. It felt draining. It felt draining. Like I couldn't just be who I felt I was. And even like sarcasm. I love sarcasm as far as humor. But then I started to realize, like, damn, like I'm talking against myself a lot. And I'm only pointing out the things that suck. And I'm making light of it, making fun of it. But I'm just highlighting all the shitty aspects of things that's taking place. Why can't I just highlight the best things? And that got frustrating as I started to see that. And then I just started to focus more and more on my progress, which was a process in itself of not having to get everything perfect, not having to be perfect. Because I felt, and this was like a recent realization, I felt if I was perfect and I got everything perfect, then I'd be worthy of love. And that was a tough realization to have. So I thought it was just how I like to do things. I thought I was just OCD, and I like things to be nice and perfect, and that's just my preference. No, it was just how I thought I would be able to be loved. I was just like, damn, So, and falls in line with, I don't have to have all these things in order to be happy. I can be happy. Because at the time, I thought, like, the main way I could be happy is if I would smoke. If I smoke, I'll forget everything, and I'm all chuckles and giggles. It's the first time I said that shit. Chuckles and giggles. All right. And same thing if I would drink. I drink X amount. I forget all my worries. Until my tolerance built up, and I had to drink so much until I blacked out. It gets dark. It gets dark when you escape stuff. And you're not having to escape anymore. It took me sitting with what is. And I had to just sit with the life I created, because the life I created was one of chasing. The life I created at that time was one of chasing. It was one of really wanting to escape because I didn't like how it felt. I would rather do anything than be home, even at my own place, just because I didn't like this. I didn't like what I created. But in order to change what I created, I had to be with it. Like if you're molding a clay, in order to change its form, you have to pick it up and start molding something else. If you ignore it, it's just still going to be in the same shape when you get back to it. Not going to change. And I had to change myself completely. And not care what anybody else said. And just really be so locked into how I felt. And be okay with being weird. First of all, I love being weird. But I had to be okay with being weird in the sense of like, okay, Mike's all spiritual now. Mike's all, doing this. Oh, you should go to therapy. Might as well just do therapy. Isn't that the same thing? It's like, oh, somewhat, not really. Because I'm taking my life into my own hands. And not to say there's anything wrong with therapy, but it's just like, I'm building a relationship with me, and I'm going to the fullest depths of me to really create the life that I want for myself. And it takes a constant effort at the time. Now it just takes a constant awareness. There's really no effort now. Now it's just the same muscle that was pessimistic about like things working out. Not even pessimistic. The same muscle that was focused on all the wrong things, which kind of sounds the same, is now the same muscle that just looks for all the best things that are in my life now. Like this chair. I like this chair. This chair is nice. It's a pretty awesome chair. I remember when I didn't have a chair, so I really appreciate this chair. And the fact that I'm able to just record this. Like, it's cool that I'm able to, like, now just have this side passion project of mine. And I get to just share and drop in, and whoever's meant for it gets to connect, and we just get to keep this going. So I even appreciate this. I appreciate you watching. There's just so much that's just awesome now. And just looking for that. Kind of playing Where's Waldo with how awesome is life. Because with Waldo, what you looking for? You're looking for a guy with a winter hat on, glasses, a striped shirt, and blue jeans, I believe. Now you know what to look for. The mind's going to be like, okay, in this whole sea of people, no. Kind of close, but not really, right there. Same thing happens when you're focused on how bad things are, right? When you focus on things that make you sad or make you sad, or make you sad, make you sad or make you mad or make you feel frustrated or make you feel depressed, and the list goes on. If you feel any of those negative emotions or guilty or shameful, that's what you're looking for. And all the things, all the infinite ways that you can translate a space, let alone the world. A space, a room. When you enter a room, everything is neutral. Nothing has meaning. But when you enter the space and you're feeling anxious, you're going to look for anything that supports that anxious feeling. That's how you're going to translate the room. So now I'm just playing Where's Waldo with how awesome can life be? What makes me happy? Like, how happy are Like, how happy am I with life right now? How happy am I with me? Now, I'm playing Where's Waldo with that. I'm just having fun playing this form of Where's Waldo. Where's my dream life? That's my game that I'm playing all the time. Because I get to look for it in the physical reality. And I get to play it and amplify it in my imagination. Because the purpose of imagination is to create something that doesn't exist yet. And then now you have something to look for in the physical space. So I like to keep these at like 15-20 minutes ish. I'll say 30 max, depending if I go like really deep. But I want to keep this going and plant a seed for you. And if you got something from it, let me know. Because it'll be awesome to connect with you in the comments and hear what game you're playing. What are you looking for? What are you imagining up now? What life are you creating? And if you're in a tough spot, cool, I got you. I could give you some tools and help you shift. And for all you know, a comment that you post might help somebody in a very similar situation. Because I'm sure if you heard, we're all each other's mirrors. So it's a lot your presence can do. Not just for you and those that you care about, but literally everybody in the world. Because everybody can relate to you in some way, shape, or form. So, hope you have an amazing day, amazing night, amazing week, right? Given your time zone. And be sure to subscribe so we can stay connected. And we get to like build our own like vibe vibe. I don't know. Vibe tribe. I feel like I heard vibe tribe before. I want to do something different. So if you could think of like a nice little short 2-word phrase. Vibe tribe that's used too much. I want to create something unique. Like I said, I like being weird. I want something cool. So think of something. I'll think of something. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like, because that'll help bring more people into the whole. Again, I don't want to say. I guess tribe. We'll say tribe for now. It'll bring more people to the tribe and share it with people. Help them get a different perspective, and you get to now talk about it with them as to your own interpretation of happiness and theirs, and see how you get to like influence each other on how to amplify happiness for you and them. Much love and appreciation for you. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you later.